Alright, Russians, are we all gathered here? I believe not, but that's okay, I can live with that. Look, I've been postponing this video for like the longest time because I couldn't put my finger around the whole situation. It was frustrating, and so I was waiting and waiting and waiting, and I kept waiting until I couldn't wait no more, aka present time. So Arashi's comeback was kind of a bit of everything. It was kind of unexpected, and so I wanted to, share my feelings with you all, but I just couldn't do it because I kept waiting for something to change. But since everything remained unchanged, I decided to speak my mind now. I just want to share my thoughts. And in no way, shape, or form am I expecting you to agree with me. We can agree to disagree. If you agree with me, great. But if you don't, that's also great. All right? Whatever you're feeling is valid. Whatever theory you might have, it's also valid, as long as you're being respectful with the other person on the side of the screen, right? And I just want to put that out there as a disclaimer. If you're gonna comment in this video, please be mindful, please be demure, be respectful, let's behave, everyone, because I don't want people fighting in the comment section. All right, anyway. Producción. Hit me with that intro. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So we're gonna talk about Arashi's comeback, woohoo, and their comeback tour as well. Well, should I call it a comeback tour or should I call it like a farewell tour? I don't know, whatever. Their concert tour. Anyway, in case you've been living under a rock, let's just do a little recap. Okay, so Arashi decided to drop Bump, aka they decided to announce after a long ass hiatus that they were going to come back and shake the booty. However, they were like, oh, you wait, just wait. We're gonna end our activities as 5. And we were like, what? We were losing our shits. Anyway, so that was a massive chaos. It was a good chaos, but a massive chaos. It was bittersweet. Some people didn't know what to make of it, myself included. I was like processing the whole thing like one of those old damn computers that would spend like a week trying to download a freaking document. Kind of like that. Anyway, so I, for starters, thought that we were going to have this super cool comeback, right? But it was far from it. And funny enough, I said this in my other video. If you haven't checked that one out, you can go ahead and check it out if you want. But I'm just gonna say it one more time. I said back in that video, it would be such a shame if they left the international side of the fandom to the side. Y oh sorpresa, that's exactly what happened. And that was kind of like, that was a low punch, you guys. I did not like it. I mean, I'm a part of the FC, and that's great, but I just couldn't understand why they decided to do that. Like, it's your comeback, and everyone was waiting for you with open arms, but you're just focusing on the FC members? Really? Who the heck thought that was a good idea? I need a word with you. I thought that was going to change. Hence, I waited to share my thoughts because I thought, okay, this is just getting traction. They just decided to come back. The start is always slow. So we're gonna get there. They're gonna reach out to the international side of the fandom. We just gotta wait. And wait we did, and nothing happened. Am I angry with Arashi? No, I'm not. For real, I'm not. But I am angry with the company, and I will explain that later on. I will elaborate, okay? Just you wait. You wait. Anyway, so I don't know. I just couldn't understand why that was the main goal for this comeback. And many of you are going to say, oh, the FC members got a bunch of content. How cool. No, they were given crumbs. And the international side of the fandom were given the crumbs of the crumbs, which is worst. Ay, es que de darle con la chancleta. Anyway, so, it was horrible to say the least. It felt like a low punch, as I said. And all in all, for me, this comeback, I decided to label it as a wannabe comeback because it was not what I was expecting, right? I thought that they were going to make the announcement for the FC members, do something very, very private for the FC members, which was that first song, that first performance that they gave us as 5 in that FC video, which was cool. But then I was like, okay, they focus on the FC members. Now they're gonna go on freaking live television and be like, hey guys, we're back. But they didn't. And as far as I'm concerned, they never did. And apparently they never will because they're now on tour, right? So there's no way they're gonna do any live, they're not gonna go live on TV. That's just how I feel, right? So that didn't happen. No special appearance as 5 in any bangumi, as far as I'm concerned. Please do correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, everything was FC oriented. This comeback for me was a wannabe comeback, but if you think about it, if we gotta label it as something else, this was an FC oriented comeback. It pisses me off. It pisses me off because how does this make sense? Think about it. Back in 2020, they were like, oh, we want to reach out. We want to go abroad. We want to reach out to the international side of the fandom. Here, we want to embrace you, right? And then, fast forward to 2026, it's like all that was erased. And it never existed because everything is FC oriented. Like what? And as I said, I'm not angry with them because I feel like if I were to be angry with them, it would be like I am denying their words, and I'm denying their essence as a group. Because for me, Arashi has presented themselves as a very real band, a group, idol group, as very authentic, right? And so if I were to say that they were lying to us back in 2020, I just cannot picture it. I just cannot. I just can't. Period. And so that's why I'm not mad at them. I feel like there's something else that we're missing, that we're not being told, and because of that fact, this whole comeback was handled the way it was. Because not only the FC got crumbs, their SNS were kind of like MIA for the longest time. And when they would post something, it was kind of like, oh, here's a sneak peek of some FC content that they did. And once again, oh, sorpresa, what content are you able to watch if you're not part of the FC? Just that sneak peek and that's it? I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. And they would write things in English, which is great. But it's like, it doesn't make sense. Either they were understaffed and didn't have the people to be posting stuff on SNS, or I don't know. That's one. And two, it felt unorganized because it felt like they sat down, had the longest brainstorm ever in their history as Arashi, decided that they were going to come back to shake the booty and then end their activities after May 31st, decided to share that information with the freaking company, and we're like, okay guys, we did good. End of the meeting, let's just go. And then they went radio silent. And I was like, where the heck is Arashi? Are you guys inside a cave? I said it in one of my videos because they were gone. I've had a baby in the meet, like along the way, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is interesting to say the least. So their comeback was kind of like all over the place. Everything continues to be FC oriented, and the international side of the fandom was left to the side, right? Of course, some people were going to feel disconnected, and I feel it's completely valid. I don't feel like those people, those Arashans, are fake fans. Far from it, because whatever the hate that they are feeling is valid, and they could have been the greatest fans ever, right? But the way this comeback was handled, the way the international side of the fandom was left to the side, hurt them. And if stepping to the side is what makes you feel better, is what keeps your mental stability, keeps you in peace, at ease, then that's the way to go, because you know yourself better than anyone. And if that works for you, you go ahead and do that. So there's no reason to call those fans fake fans whatsoever. No. The fandom was kind of divided, and it's understandable. Many people were sharing their theories, and I will as well. My theory is that the company got angry, that they went ahead and be like, all right, you guys, you want to stop shaking the booty? No biggie. Okay, Uno reverse card. Here are the terms and conditions, and this is the way the freaking comeback is going to be handled, and this is the way the freaking concerts are going to be handled, period. And because of those terms and conditions, because of those agreements, the comeback came to be what we experienced. That's just the way I feel. And many of you might say, nah, the company's not going to do that, right? But yeah, I don't think so. We can agree to disagree. Because at the end of the day, you have to keep in mind that the music industry is a business. And businesses want to make money. That's their main goal. They don't care if we're happy or not. Let's just face it. They just want to suck the money out of our pockets. They want their talents to be relevant in order for us to continue to purchase their things. And if you think about it, Arashi became such a national treasure, achieved such a status, that they became one of their biggest, most successful assets, which means that they became easy money, right? easy money in the sense of whatever the heck this five would launch, CD, merch, pictures, whatever, name it. Those things were guaranteed going to be sold out. And don't say no, because we used to crash CDJ websites. The CDJ website suffered because of us. Their servers were on fire every time we were going to purchase the CD. I'm not lying, and you know that, right? So, of course, the company was like, "What? You want to end your activities? No biggie. Okay, we're gonna proceed, but we gotta check the terms and conditions." So they were not going to like it. They were not going to be like, "Oh, Arashi, yeah, you know, you guys are old now. Yeah, kudos to you, haha. You did a great job. Don't worry, we're gonna support you." Come on. No, I have a hard time believing that. I have a hard time believing that, because this company, no, this company, no. I don't think so. Anyway, so yeah, I think that's what happened. And many people are gonna say, okay, fine, valid, maybe that's what happened. But keep in mind that Arashi, you said it yourself, is one of their biggest assets, right? Is a national treasure. Yes, they are. And yes, I know where you're thinking. They have benefits, right? They can go around things and go against whatever the agency says. You're right. However, keep in mind that pretty much 50% of Arashi was already independent from the company, one. And two, unfortunately, the agency is the employer, and the employer is the entity, the person that has the last word. Even if you're the greatest, most perfect worker in the company, you're replaceable, one. And two, if the employer doesn't like it, they're gonna tell you, I don't like it, and this is the way we're gonna do it. That's just the way businesses work. I know they're gonna continue to make money one way or another through their music, right? But it's not going to be a massive amount as if they were to be active. That's just the way I see it. I don't know the numbers because I'm not a math person. I hate that. But if you do know, do share in the comments down below. I'll be more than glad to get that knowledge, right? But yeah, that's the way I see it. So I think that we will never know what happened between the company and Arashi, but I feel that's kind of the way it went, because there is no way this comeback was planned as it was by Arashi, because it felt so not like something that Arashi would come up with. I feel like that was a long ass recap plus the explanation. Anyway, I hope you're following the whole thing. In my case, I had a hard time enjoying the FC content. I even stopped watching it at some point because I felt disconnected, and also I just couldn't feel good with the fact that I was enjoying my FC benefits, and while the international side of the fandom was getting the crumbs out of the crumbs. So yeah, I just couldn't, because I have a lot of mods on Twitter that were complaining about the whole thing, and I 100% could understand where they were coming from, because they were right. So and it's hard. It's hard when you think about it, because we all came to the realization as international fans that we were not going to be able to attend their concert, their final concert, right? And I don't know. I think the fact that the MV was not region locked and whatever, the song is on streaming platforms and everything, I think that's awesome, because it's a way to include everyone. But yeah, everything, it's kind of hard to hard to process, hard to follow, because everything feels so different to whatever Arashi had us used to, right? I don't know. It's just frustrating. It's sad, and at the same time, it's disappointing, because this was their last chance, and the fact that everything was just so private, was done so privately, it's just it just leaves a bad taste in your mouth. That's just the way I see it, right? Now, if you think about it, this damn company, oh, I hate this company. This damn company, this damn agency has always cared for their local clients. Let's just call them clients, okay? Japanese people, Japanese residents, Japanese citizens, whatever. Why? Okay, let's think about it. Japan is a wonderful country, right? They have anime industry, manga industry, film industry, music industry, and a bunch of things more. Great, that's awesome, right? However, unfortunately, the country is not foreigner friendly, in the sense of foreigners who want to live in Japan, for example, have a hard time navigating the whole system, right? Because it is not friendly for them. It's not a piece of cake. So this mentality, or this system, this so not foreigner friendly system, is also installed in the companies, in their different industries. In the case of Arashi, we're talking about the music industry. Starto has a fucked up system. Why? Because their main clients, their main targets are the locals. So the fan club is freaking Japanese residents oriented, local oriented. So you gotta live in Japan in order to be a part of the fan club. Back in the day, you couldn't pay with your credit card. Nowadays, you can pay with your credit card. And let me say it once again for the people in the back, you can pay with the damn international credit card. Okay, you can. It's wonderful. You can live in any freaking part of the freaking world and you can pay with your international credit card. I repeat, you can pay with your international credit card. And it's wonderful, right? However, the company wants to keep the locals happy, right? So everything in their system, in their policies, is made in such a way that foreigners have one heck of a time if they want to join the freaking FC, right? There are proxy services. You have Tenso, you have SOS Japan, to say a few, right? You join the freaking FC because you're gonna get a Japanese address. Perfect. You get your freebies, you get your card, your FC card, you're happy, right? However, if this company organizes an event, of course you're not gonna be able to attend because you don't live in Japan. Now, back in the day, Arashans were able to attend their concerts because the system, the policies were a little bit, a little bit chill. They were relaxed. They were a little bit more flexible, right? However, in the present times, that's not the way. The policies are a lot fucked up. They are strict, okay? And they have this advanced systems where they're gonna scan your face and this and that. We all know the deal, right? So if you're able to attend the concert, if you're able to enter the damn venue, damn, you're lucky, right? You're one of the lucky ones. You were the chosen one. Let's just put it like that, right? And that's awesome. But there are many people who are not being allowed to enter the venue because the rules are there, and the rules state that you have to live in Japan. Did we all know that? Yes, we did. So why are people in the comment section on Twitter, why are they calling out Arashans as if they have been in the freaking fandom for like 1 second? We all know the rules. If we did the FC application through a proxy, that means that we know the rules. The fact that they were able to purchase the tickets through the proxy, the address provided by the proxy, does not mean that they did something illegal, because they follow the steps and they pay legally. Okay? Now, you might say, wait, hold on, I'm running out of battery. I'm gonna change the freaking battery and I will come back.
Arashi, Arashi, for dream ya.
As I was saying, they got the things legally, right? Now, the coin has two sides, right? Let's think about it. Why do they accept international credit cards? Okay. If we think about it in a nice way, nowadays, a lot of people go and study abroad, right? Some people go to study in Japan. Some people work in Japan, but they're not Japanese, right? They're Mexicans, they're Italians, they're Americans, name it. They could be from anywhere in the world, right? And they do not have a Japanese credit card, right? So the system became friendlier for foreigners living in Japan, because now we take your credit card, your international credit card, and everything's great, right? That's great. It makes sense, right? For the people not living in Japan who want to be a part of the FC, it became easier to make their payments, right? So for me, that is the main reason why they decided to allow international credit cards within their system, right? But that doesn't mean that the people who purchased their tickets did it illegally. They just decided, you know what? I know the rules are there, but I'm gonna take the risk. That doesn't mean that it's your fault. They simply decide. That doesn't mean that it's your fault that they were humiliated in front of a bunch of people. No. That means that they were dream chasers, right? because their dream was to attend Arashi's last concert, right? And they decided to take the risk. They decided to go for it. So I don't understand why people on the internet feel the need to spread their knowledge without thinking about how the other person on the other side of the screen who went through a hell of a trauma feels. Why aren't you considering their feelings? It's not what you're saying, it's how you say it. And some people in the comments were acting very I don't entitled, maybe that might be the word, entitled. They were being smartasses. They were blaming Arashans for not having knowledge of the rules. No, maje. Busca qué hacer. That's not the way to go. You cannot say something and state it as a fact written in stone when you don't know half of it. I'm not saying that you don't have a knowledge on how the Japanese system works. It's clear that you do know, but you cannot go ahead and assume that Arashans don't know how the system works. Arashans, not myself included, because I consider myself a baby Arashan next to all the other Arashans who have been in the fandom for ages. They know the deal. You don't have to talk to them as if they don't know. Right? And that pissed me off big time. The fact that they were blaming Arashans for going against the rules, for doing something illegal, that pissed me off. They were just chasing their dream. They were just taking the risk. They knew the rules. They were just taking that risk. You don't have the right to blame them, because they knew what they were doing. And you cannot call that illegal. I think it would be better to have a little more empathy towards those people, because they have balls. That's the way I see it. They have balls. They knew what they were going to go through, but they decided, fuck it, I'm gonna go and take the risk. Because there might be a teeny tiny percentage of me going into that venue. I didn't take the risk. I am part of the FC, as I said. But I decided, you know what? I value my mental peace. I've gone through a bunch of shit that made me emotionally unstable quite a few times in my life. And I've decided at this day and age that I value my mental sake, my mental stability, my mental, my peace. I value it. For my mental sake, I'm not going to do the lottery thing. I'm not going to do it. Period. And I didn't do it. And I sat myself and started thinking, okay, I am part of the FC thanks to a proxy service. I do not live in Japan. I do not own a passport that says, here's my Japanese address. I do not own a driver's license with a Japanese address, nor nor do I have a Japanese ID. That's it. I'm not gonna take the risk, because I am not spending 4K to get my booty on the other side of the world, spend on transportation, accommodation, food, to check if I'm going to be allowed to enter the venue. if I spend all that money and I'm not able to enter that venue, I'm gonna be freaking stressed out. And the whole process is going to be stressful because you're going to be happy if you actually hit for the concert, right? If you're hit for the ticket. But then you're gonna be freaking your nerves are going to be freaking over the freaking roof because you don't know if you're gonna be able to enter the venue, so you're gonna get anxious, and I cannot. I was like, no, I'm not going through that. I'm okay. I value my peace, queen behavior. I'm gonna sit on my behind. I'm gonna watch that live stream. At that moment, when I decided that the live stream was not confirmed, but I knew Jun was not going to disappoint. I knew Arashi was going to say, you know what, we're gonna do a live stream, and so they did. So my decision was valid, was a smart one. So I decided I'm gonna watch it from the comfort of my home. And that's it. And I'm not gonna spend that money, and I'm gonna save that money to buy me a bunch of merch. Period. That's it. I didn't have the balls. I am a risk taker, but sometimes, and you know the motto here in my channel is smart purchases only. This was kind of like a smart purchase, okay? I told this to one of my Russian friends, one of my besties. I told her, you know what? I'm not gonna die. If I don't go to the concert, I'm not gonna die. But there are people who really, 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 really wanna go, and they are going to take that risk. Hence, they have balls. That's it. I don't. I have balls for other stuff. I'm a risk taker for a bunch of other stuff, but not that. I couldn't do it because I am learning Japanese, but I don't speak Japanese like other people can. And I was like, how the heck am I going to explain to these people? Please let me in. This is the last. No, I was like all over the place. And I know many people who are going to this concert, who are part of the FC, don't speak Japanese, but they still go. They have balls. They're risk takers. So why on earth are people feel the need to be like, oh, you're to blame. Oh, you did that illegally. What? Bye, ciao. No. Just don't. Do not. When you think about it, we consume an idol's content to an extent that it makes you so happy that you're willing to freaking spend your money on whatever the heck they put out there, right? And we continue to feed that awful system that this agency has. Other agencies in other industries, for example, the film industry, are changing. They even have a partnership with Tenso, for example. So they're changing. Things are changing. But this damn company claims that they support their talents in their adventure to reach out to the international side of their fandom, right? But they really don't, because they only care, as I said, about money. So of course they care about the international side of the fandom if they have to sell something. Otherwise, they don't care. And that is reflected in the way their FC system works, in the way they come up with wonderful policies for their concerts. I hope that one day they will change that damn system, because then they will earn a lot more money. Yo lo veo tan simple. Entre más gente tengas en el FC, whether they're international or locals, you're gonna earn more money. O sea, son unos caballos, pero bueno.
Emotional, damn it!
But you know what? let me tell you something. And I hope this finds the right person. If you're not able to go to a concert, if you're not able to, whether you can afford it or not, whether you're part of the FC or not, right? If you're not able to purchase merch, CDs, Blu-rays, DVDs, that does not make you less of a fan, period. Nobody can tell you otherwise. And nobody can tell you that because you don't have merch, you haven't been to a concert, you haven't been to Japan, for example, you cannot be a part of the fandom. If somebody tells you that, querida, da la vuelta y no le hagas caso. That's it. Because those people, those are toxic fans. That's the way I see it. Nobody can tell you that. You can be a fan in your own way. You can be a part of a fandom in your own way. There are people within the fandom who don't say anything, who just enjoy whatever other fans within the fandom are sharing. Right? They get excited when other people buy merch as if it were theirs. But they don't buy it because they don't have the money. That doesn't make you less of a fan. Nobody can tell you that. Okay? So don't feel bad if you were not able to purchase that ticket, if you were not able to even go to Japan, to be outside of the venue, to listen to the whole thing. Don't feel bad. Find a way to continue enjoying whatever they're doing. I know that this concert tour is going to be such a fun ride. It's just, it makes me sad that international fans who actually hit for the concert date and bought the ticket have to go through this stressful situation, because it becomes such a frustrating and such a frustrating situation. It makes you anxious, and it's supposed to be a happy moment, right? And so if you took the risk of purchasing the ticket and everything, try to control yourself. Try to keep yourself in peace. I think that's the most important thing, because I can only imagine how awful it must feel and how anxious this whole situation is. To be there, just a few steps of getting into the venue and see that you're the only one being stopped and all the people are going into the venue. It's like, that's espantoso. I can't picture it, and I just don't like it. So I hope that the international fans who are attending the next couple of concerts, I hope you guys are able to enter the venue. Even if you're a ball of stress, try to breathe, try to control yourself, and just believe that everything will work out, right? So yeah, I hope this video, I think I covered everything in this video. I hope this video was insightful. I hope it reaches the right people. I don't know yet. Oh my god. And yeah, if you want to follow me on my other socials, you can follow me on my Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and if you haven't followed me here, you can follow me here as well. And nada, to our Russians, you know what, stay golden while at heart, Be strong. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.